Hi guys, welcome back to Gwayne Sailing. While we were waiting out the wind and strong current on Pawleys Island in South Carolina, we rode our bikes to a great dive bar with tons of dollar bills all over the restaurant, both inside and out. We met Claire and John here and enjoyed some sundowner drinks with them as we watched a great sunset show. We need to watch the tides closely now in this portion of the ICW, since they change from 5 to 8 feet in this area. There are many things that we need to keep in consideration when making our plans for each day, besides the weather and when the high and low tides are. We need to calculate the height of the bridges that we go under, plus the height of the tide in that area at that specific time, to ensure that our mast won't hit the bridge. If we go through a lift or a swing bridge, we need to calculate the wind speed, the speed of the current, and how fast our boat goes in order to time the bridge opening properly, since some of them only open on the top or the bottom of the hour. Because we don't sail in the dark for safety reasons, we have to plan our trip around the sunrise and sunsets. Sailing in the dark means that we might get tangled in crab pot lines, hit a floating log, or worse, hit another boat that has no lights. Shoaling is also a big problem in this area of the ICW. Because of recent strong wind and storms, the sandy, muddy bottom is constantly moving, which means the water is sometimes too shallow for our 6-foot keel to get through. We need to know exactly where these areas are and then time our passages to transit it during a high tide and in the daylight. During the winter months, if we start off too early in the mornings, we usually encounter frost on our boat deck and ice on the marina docks, or worse, thick fog which envelops our boat and makes navigation completely impossible. Rain, maneuvering between other vessels in the heavy shipping traffic, the height of the waves, plus the speed of the swells of the ocean, all affect how fast and how far we can go in one day. Our next stop was in Georgetown, where we did some hiking and geocaching with our friend Bill, while we waited out a few foggy days. We saw a 1,000-year-old live oak tree at our stop in McClellanville, South Carolina, as we wandered around the small town, waiting for higher tides to come, so that we could leave this buggy marina. The facilities here were not in the best shape, but the saving grace was that we made friends with our boat neighbors Elaine and Julian, who we met up again at our next stop in Charleston. The dolphins followed us most of the way to Charleston as we pulled into the beautiful port city and immediately fell in love with this place. The town was vibrant and lavishly decorated for the upcoming Christmas holiday. We wandered around the cobblestone streets as horse-drawn carriages went past the colorful pastel antebellum houses in the French Quarter. We parked our boat near the iconic Charleston Bridge and stayed at Seabreeze Marina for a full month while we made an offer on a used catamaran for sale. We spent our days doing boat projects in preparation to list our boat for sale. Evenings were spent checking out the downtown nightlife and live music venues at piano bars, jazz clubs, speakeasies, and wine bars. We tried many restaurants and breweries that have moved into the recently gentrified surrounding neighborhoods too. We learned about the area's history by visiting the old Exchange and Dungeon and did the dungeon tour there. We visited the USS Yorktown aircraft carrier. We toured a southern cotton plantation with Elaine and Julian and took a ferry ride over to Fort Sumter. We explored further out of town with our friends Doug and Martha, who live here in Charleston. We went to many venues on the water that had live music. Wayne was even able to play with the band at this place. We took walks along the ocean during low tide looking for shells, starfish, and dolphins. We got our exercise by walking the nearly 3-mile bridge, riding bikes, and I also signed up for a month-long membership to the nearby yoga studio and salt spa. We explored all the festive Christmas touristy places around town, including this rooftop restaurant and bar with private dining gondolas by a pool. They even had an ice rink up there. And we went to this holiday pop-up bar that had indoor pickleball, mini golf, and arcade games. We went to the Charleston Hotel that had beautiful Christmas trees in the lobby and a model train display. We went to a couple of farmers markets, saw the iconic Charleston Pineapple Fountain, and visited the aquarium. We went to as many oyster bakes as we could find. Most of these were sponsored by bars and included live bands performing outside. In January, rooftop bars were a great place to end our evenings with friends while watching the sun set. We went to a few comedy clubs, including an improv show where Wayne volunteered to go up on stage, of course. We took a haunted carriage ride in the old downtown area. New Year's Eve came and went. We played cards with friends, wandered around cool old cemeteries, and caught a local ice hockey game, too. Charleston is known as a foodie town, and boy, did we eat a lot of great places. We love the city, and because we've stayed for so long, I'm just going to let the music play as the rest of our pictures and videos go by and let them speak for themselves. Enjoy!